morning. It's live on Facebook. It's so weird being live on Facebook. I'm so used to recording and then just post-producing and doing all that stuff. But I've been live my whole life, my whole adult life on radio, and so this is kind of cool. It's good. It's normal. It's fun. Good morning. This is Tim Patterson, Trade Show Guy. It is the Trade Show Guy Monday morning coffee. Always got fresh coffee and a brain that's usually mostly awake here. And 9 o'clock it is on the best coast, and I'm glad you're joining me. Not only do we do the video version live on Facebook, but then after it's done, which is recorded, I post-produce it and put music to the beginning and the end and whatnot, and maybe chop the video a little bit, and then post it as a vlog and then as a podcast as well. And you can find all that at TradeshowGuyblog.com. So I was a weekend warrior this past weekend. Had an adventure and a half. Every spring, I get together with a handful of old buddies, radio buddies, and other assorted hangers-on. This has gone on for 35 or 40 years. And we get together. I'm in Salem, Oregon, which is Willamette Valley. We go over the mountains over to Central Oregon on the Warm Springs Indian Reservation, do a little camping. Well, I don't need to give you all the details, but my car had some issues on the way home yesterday, and what's normally a 3-hour drive took me 10 hours. My buddy and I, George, we finally figured out what the issue was because we were losing coolant in my car, which is a car that it's new to me. It's a 2007 Subaru. I bought it just 4 or 5 weeks ago and had to have a water pump replaced, and I'm wondering if that's the issue. But no, it's a pipe that is a radiator hose that had a hole burned through it somehow, and so we were losing coolant. Finally figured that out, but then it was a comedy of errors. Then once we got the part to fix it, as we got down closer to Portland, we could not get the hood open. Seriously. So, like I say, it was a comedy of errors, but what should have been a 3-hour drive, 3-hour cruise, turned into a 10-hour adventure and a half. But I'm, home, made it, all that stuff, back to the office. Today's topic is on focus and getting work done, getting stuff done. As Confucius say, he who chases 2 rabbits catches none. That's true. No doubt we all have a tendency to get distracted by all sorts of things when we really need to get stuff done. But what does it take to keep from being distracted? Granted, some of us are better at it than others, and some of us are better at it at different times than we are at other times. I remember hearing a long time ago, I don't even know who it was, some speaker, guru, motivation guy. He said, you don't need motivation, you need focus. That's what you need. You need focus. Doesn't matter how much motivation you have. Motivation can run out. But if you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, if you've got laser pinpoint focus, you can get a lot of stuff done. So let's go over a few things. These are some notes I found online, as well as a lot of my ideas on how to help focus and get work done. Block time out on your calendar. I do this frequently. I will schedule an hour a day for whatever task I have to do, whether it's prospecting or writing a blog or producing something or working with clients. I block that out. So I know that when that time comes, I drop everything else and I focus on that one thing. And I think that's a good way to start. Turn off the internet, or at least turn off the email program so there's no incoming email to distract you. I know myself. If email comes in, I go, oh, I gotta respond to that, or ooh, I wonder what's in that newsletter, and then you're lost for a few minutes. Sometimes I go to a different environment. I often will trundle down to the local coffee shop and sit there for a couple hours, and that way it's a good way to block things out. Put the earphones on, get a cup of coffee, maybe a sandwich, and focus there. Just different settings sometimes help. I know some people who really focus on an airplane. If they take their laptop, they can get a whole lot of writing done just by sitting there and banging it out because nothing else is going to bother them. The other thing is to know exactly what you're going to accomplish and work towards only that goal. Block everything else out. So if you know what specific goal you have and you know the steps it takes you to get there, just focus on knocking off those steps and getting to that. Another thing I like, which I think is really important, is you declutter your space. Scrub your space. Make sure your desk is as clean as you need it to be. Mine is never clean, but it's often decluttered. And when it gets too crazy and piled up, then I move things around and throw things away, and I work better like that. So I always try and get out and exercise for a short break, a little walk with the dog every morning, and maybe a bike ride in the afternoon if the weather is nice. And today in Salem it'll be 90, so that'll be a hot ride. Excuse me. From Life Hackers, one suggestion was to turn your mouse off. I don't know if that'll work or not, but if you got a laptop or something and you turn your mouse off and you're focused on something else, a mouse will help you do all sorts of things and get distracted. And he says, no, just if you're writing, use the keyboard, turn the mouse off. That's a thought. If you sit in front of a computer screen a lot, when you take a break, spend 2 minutes before the break setting up what you're going to do next. Now, I found this also. I think this was on Lifehacker. So that, for instance, if you're going to be working on a specific, like a blog post or something, have only the programs open and ready to go when you return from your break so that you're not distracted when you get back. Now, I think this is a great idea. I'm going to start trying this so that you're closing all the, tabs on your browser that you don't need. You have the 2 or 3 open that you know you're going to go to, like the blog or whatever. And then you have only the one program that you're going to be writing in, if that's the case, or working graphics or something. So everything else gets turned off. Other thoughts, I like having healthy snacks nearby instead of, eating a power bar, sugar bar, something like that, because, energy bars have lots of sugar in them. You burn those, but after a while, they kind of, you don't get that much energy from them. So snacks, nuts, fruit, veggies, they'll keep you better focused than sugar drinks or snacks. I always like this suggestion, wear noise-canceling headphones, listen to lyric-free music. I don't know, what do you think? I tend to listen to a lot of music when I work just because I've always done that. I was in radio for 25 years. I always needed music going, so that's the way I work. Doesn't matter what kind it is. And so that's kind of my 12 tips on how to focus. I do want to get some trade show marketing tips in. This is from an article I posted last week. Now, the headline is 7 ways to engage visitors with social media before the show. So you're trying to get people to come to your booth prior to the show, so at least whet their appetite. So let's talk about some of those ways. 7 ways. Number 1, know the show hashtag. You got to know the show hashtag so that everything you put out is trackable and findable by show followers, whether they follow your actual account or not. They may, for instance, if I'm going to Expo West and they may not follow TradeshowGuy on Twitter, but they certainly will check out the hashtag Expo West, and they can find some of my stuff there. If you have new products or services, create a teaser video or 2 or 3 and get them onto your social media platforms. Let people know what you're doing at the show. Video is a good way to do that. Maybe you're going to debut a new booth, a new exhibit at the show. Work with your exhibit house to tease elements of the exhibit, photos and stuff like that prior to the show. Put together a short video. I don't know, something like that. Be fun. Consider creating a special landing page on your website just for the show. Let people make appointments, view more videos, make a big deal about it. You're going to be there. Go to see our special page. This is all the stuff we're going to do at the show. They can make appointments there with your salespeople or your booth staffers or whatever. Learn about new products. They can get invited to a special party or something like that. Sign up for email or text notifications of special guests. Just make a special landing page. Put it all there that you're going to do at the show, just for that one show, if it's a big enough show and it warrants the work. If you have a company CEO or other management members speaking at the show or being part of a panel, be sure to include that in any information you post. And if you're sponsoring a specific event or area of the show, don't forget to get that in. Also, number 6, got a contest or something else to draw people to your booth. Start promoting that about a week ahead of time online. And any sooner, be kind of old, wait too long and you don't reach as many people. So I don't know, there's probably a sweet spot in there, 5 days, 8 days, 10 days, something like that, that's going to get the most bang for your buck before people start to say, oh, so that thing again, right? Number 7, create a special hashtag just for your company for just this show and invite people to post photos of themselves, wearing your product or interacting with your server, whatever the case may be, using the hashtag. So you'd say, use the show hashtag, use our hashtag so people can find specific to that. And then the show hashtag helps spread that through the entire ecosphere, I guess, as it were, of all the people at the show that are interested in the show. Draw several prize winners from among the photos during the show and give away a bunch of your products to both show attendees and even to those that weren't able to attend. So that's my 7 ways to engage on social media prior to the show. Okay, going to wrap it up with one good thing. Let's see. What do we got? Hang on. What do we got coming up in the next week or two? I know next week, a week from today, is Memorial Day. I'll be here, but no guests. I think 2 weeks from today, we'll have a guest talking about exhibits and that sort of thing. So, Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee for the 22nd of May. Just about to wrap up. One good thing, always loving getting off the grid. It's a different space because we're always plugged in, and I spent 48 hours unplugged from the internet, camping, being off the grid for 48 hours. That's the one good thing. I hope you get a chance to do it before long, too. See you next week.